Focus on what you're doing. Get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
It's not over until I win.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What is good, my guys? Been a while. Let's get it on. Fade down the funky music. And then let's get down to business. Bitcoin. I'll have to check when I did one of these previously. The reason I've not done this off late is because being patient on the markets. It's been tough. Geopolitics is messy, and the markets are just not at any pace or at any momentum. Well, at least Bitcoin and the wider crypto market. The momentum around the AI bit seems to be slowing down, but not completely faded away. Anyways, those other bits are for another time, but let's get to Bitcoin. So the last time I did one of these, I recall, I had drawn out these lines, which, to what I recall, I was looking for divergence. So let's just take a step back to see what happens since the last time. So the last time, again, all these drawings have been there since the start of the year, maybe. There was this, again, a fake breakout from this top range. So 71 to 67 is this range block, and as in the range higher, this was range lows of this range precisely. So again, to recap, we had 71 to 67k as the top end of the range, and the bottom end of the range on this scenario was 50 to 50k. So between that, it's a top range where it found a bit of support, did its best to kind of break out of it, broke out, did its retest, made an attempt, and then mid this resistance has now found rejection. Now, again, it takes time. It takes time for bear markets to turn around, and one of the strongest signals you kind of look towards the change of the market direction is divergence. And I had drawn this to say, look, I am keen, or I will be keen to take a long bid at around this low range region, for which it formed a low back in February of this year. Yeah, and I would be looking for price to come visit this low or the lower end of this range, and then hopefully at that point it makes a lower low in terms of the price. Let me just do the which it seems like it is intending to do. Something of this nature, a lower low on the price, and it may likely be a higher low on the momentum, and that maybe just that is what is needed to find the market reversing. So I'm still on the lookout for high time frame divergences, and on those high time frames, it's the weekly kind of where I look for signals of that nature, and that signals with some strength, right? It could form a triple pattern divergence as well. We'll see about it, but at this point, well, you can make the case that it has made the lower low, and there's your higher low in terms of the divergence. So we'll see if that is the case or no. But a more stronger signal in my view would be if the price visits this lower block and we get the divergence then, rather than just now. I would be more comfortable if it comes about here, maybe 51, 52k, then gets the higher low in terms of momentum, and then we'll see, because again, the point being, going back to the 3-month chart, which is really the time frame where I kind of go and look at the macro of things, right? This here should hold, ideally should hold. So, and then again, this also is the previous all-time high, right, back in 2021. So it's logical that the market finds support here, but wouldn't be surprising that it does some kind of really those swing failure patterns, right, where it takes out this low, which currently stands about 49, and then kind of starts to turn around, which is pretty much what happened the last time around. Not to the precise specificity or in terms of exactly like that, because most of the people would have been expecting that a revisiting of the 20k or the 19k, but the price actually dipped down to 15, which was basically this high which it tested, right, which happened back in 2019 actually. So yeah, 2021 high, which is this, let's just bring back here, right, which is about this range, yeah, and there's quite a gap here, right? So a midpoint of this range, which is about 45k, is where I would bet that we go and we get our divergence, and see where it goes from there, right? But at that point, if a strong divergence gets formed on a weekly scale, that would be a strong indication for me to kind of start getting more serious in the market, other than whatever spot positions I've had thus far. So that's where kind of my head is at in terms of price action, and still been patiently waiting. Yeah, there was a lot of bullish momentum up here. This retest of this downward trend line would have given confidence to the market that market is about to go, and unfortunately that did not happen. So these are not the market conditions where many would flourish, but people who can protect their capital and are patient, and this time it really is about patient. Believe you me, in 12 months time or maybe 18 months time, people will be dying to see Bitcoin and rest of the crypto market at these prices, but time will tell. But I think in the longer run, which is, when I say longer run, not years, but actually just 12 months, 15 months, and it really should be a fruitful scenario for folks looking to get into this market at this point in time. In terms of price action, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, let's see what the monthly is telling us. Monthly again, I've got let's look at the RSI, right? Where's the RSI for the monthly for Bitcoin? Approaching the very bottom end of the RSI range, from where in December of 2022 it kind of bottomed and then found its way with an upthrust towards new highs, leading for price for Bitcoin to make new all-time highs, right? So not the place where fear and uncertainty should cripple your mind. Any kind of panic, fear, depression, all those state of market have kind of gone past. A good move is likely coming, which is hopefully going to turn the market, purely based on the technicals, right? The geopolitical situation can get further worsened. Don't know, can't speculate much on that, but the charts are telling might be the time for a turnaround. Again, this is 6 months of consolidation right at the top of the 2021 highs. Prices within that range. There might be some liquidity sweeps, so that's what I'm hoping, right? This price point here, this low, which is about 49k, right? I would be very, very surprised if we do get the sweep of that 49k, we don't turn around quite aggressively. If shit hits the bed, I think this is this range right here, which is your 3-month bottom end range. The plan has always been there. It will only be the matter of executing when the opportunity presents itself. So this is the range, 3-month, 58,800 as the top end of the range, and 3560 or 59 to 35 is your range. Mid range is about 45. Look to scale in. Mid range onwards, you should get your divergence, hopefully. And then if something really gets screwed up and shit hits the bed, 35k is where you would I would look to kind of see get a deeper position into the market in that sense. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. Going back on the weekly, and let me take the drawings off and see what the indicators are kind of telling us. Very keen on Bollinger Band. Kissing the lower end of the Bollinger Bands. We'll see if it's like a if it kind of starts to show any kind of strength here towards the lower end of the Bollinger Band or not. Something similar to this or something similar to this. Yeah, but not there yet. What is our Ichimoku telling us? Weak, very weak. Slightly go back to the monthly again. What's the yearly telling us? Yeah, that kind of formation, consolidation on the underside of a certain moving average. This definitely is not encouraging, right? But it is what it is. We stay patient. That's where we are with Bitcoin. Let's look at some of the other. Well, Solana has been finding quite a good lot of traction in terms of the influencers and other making noises to say, Solana is the next. It's kind of has bottomed and is likely to make its upthrust towards new highs, and the new cycle has begun. And the reason you hear a lot of that chatter is because it's currently on its 0.618, I think, from a fib standpoint. So from the lows to your highs, drawdown, finding support on 0.618 fib. So that's confluence number one. The other confluence really is, 1 second, shouldn't have done that. Need to take off the fibs, which is this bit. Yeah. Now this consolidation right here, if I take this off from the log chart, you see that this was the consolidation or the base leading to this upthrust and this distribution. So there's this confluencing cluster, there's then this base and consolidation of the base which happened for the last cycle, and then right above it it's found the support. So you can, the point here is it's against Bitcoin, against the Bitcoin pair, Solana is finding support, which is what is leading for these influencers to say against the USD pair, it's also kind of found its bottom, which could be the case. But the market has been so shitty, and these altcoins can still bleed another 30%, 40%, 50% compared to Bitcoin. So if you're trying to get into it, don't have a position, want to have a spot or something, yeah, keep dollar cost averaging. But yeah, I just wanted to mention like where it's gonna find new highs conversation is coming from. On its USD pair, massive gap again. 3 month is what I'm a big fan of. So as you can clearly see, yeah, there are these other price pivot points which I've drawn, but it really is this bit here, right? So what would really be a steal if we get to see Solana 21 to $9 or $10 might be a big dream, but maybe 20 to the mid-range 15, that would be a real steal if I think about it. So that's still a possibility. And let's just look at the fib, the low, the high. Your 0.618 stands at about $32 round figure, and your 0.786 is about $17. So really, if and when it gets to 0.618, that's the point to kind of pull the trigger in my book. And if by any fortunes you get to 0.786, 0.84, that's where you basically go all in. Your risk to reward is just insanely mispriced at that point. You just go all in, I would say. So that's where we are with Solana. XRP. Let's first look at the XRP BTC pair, what it's doing. Yeah, this is. I've been very optimistic about XRP in the last few videos I did, and that really was on the not perception, but on the reading of the chart to say this bit here was holding, right, which was the monthly this low right here. It was holding it. You see this consolidation now. This is just getting mercifully dragged out, drawn out, bleed. And the consolidation that it's having on the 3 month, right? This is clearly like a distribution pattern. So we'll have to see if I take a look, right? So this consolidation here, let me just show a box perhaps. So this consolidation here would be my best, or maybe the top end of this, right, which is about what, 1500 sats is where I'll see the first, would like to see the first glimpses of any life. But again, these altcoins are closely tied to how Bitcoin performs, etc., right? So everything is still after all these years is dependent on how Bitcoin behaves. But it was the XRP BTC pairing which was giving me the confidence, similar to how the Sol BTC pairing is now giving confidence to holders of that asset basically. Yeah, let's see. This is weak in my book. So there's nothing in terms of XRP BTC which is encouraging. Going to the weekly, let me just pull messed up. What is the USD pairing saying? Well, on the USD pairing, right, interesting. I didn't actually look at this anytime before this. So where is the 0.618? Okay. So we are at 0.5. 0.61 is about $0.75. Okay, so yeah, it seems as though this cluster right here, this open gap, this air, yeah, this would make more sense to kind of price to go float around here in this zone, and then basically similar to Bitcoin, I'll look for to see if any divergence kind of comes to fruition. So here's the low, here's another low, and I keep forgetting I've got these favorites up there. I still keep looking to my left. Maybe it's something like this, right? And then you kind of mess around here, come up, come up, come up, come up, come up. We'll see about it if that plays out. But again, this open gap here is likely where you would see the buyers stepping in, or any kind of narrative coming to light to say XRP is the reserve coin for the US Treasury kind of a conversation. Yeah, so that's where we are with XRP. Still something which I've got in my spot bag. Good. Kind of very sensible spot. This literally is capitulation, if I'm honest, right? Time capitulation rather than anything else. And if the price kind of finds its way in this pocket, then literally is price capitulation as well. So going back to the monthly, yeah, that's kind of the open air gap. Oh, my monthly RSI is drastically insane, depressing, and just don't look at it. Just don't look at it. CRV, another one of my gems. The CRV BTC pairing kind of has just gone. So I don't know what's happening there. On the USD pair, it's an interesting set of affairs. Like, I can clearly make a case to say why it still will kind of, this is not the right way to do it. Let's go back to, it can, like, you can make the case to say why it can't do this and just die off. Can do it. Absolutely can. You can also make a more rational case to say it's sweep the lows that it formed in August of 2024. It sweep those lows, and I'm not a big fan of everything just dying and never coming back, right? Can it? Yeah. Asset like CRV, not gonna go into the fundamentals and all, but this happens quite a lot, guys. You see the asset just selling off, takes off its previous lows. You wouldn't have even thought that would actually happen, but there's too much liquidity down there around those lows, sweeping those. And yeah, look at the weekly bit here, right? It's above that August 2024 low. So let's give it some time. But yeah, if you don't have anything in CRV, if you're keen on CRV, then yeah, you literally are buying the lows. Can it go any lower? Yeah, it can. But what's your risk to reward ratio from these lows to, let's just take all the levels that I've marked it here, right, which I believe to be very sensible, practical. So your risk to reward, or just in terms of what money you can make, right, put in whatever X amount you are comfortable in investing from current prices. If you go back to the previous range and it reclaims, you're just doubling your money or getting 100% in profits. Getting to this weekly SR takes you 300%, and I think once price is able to flip this weekly support to resistance pivot, that's where real fun starts. And time as well as price capitulation, both, I think the second the market turns around, Bitcoin either stabilizes or it shows the signs to move up. CRV will be one of the quickest ones to turn around. I think the next leg will likely see us get back to the range highs around $1, and that would mean investing any X amount, say $100, $1,000, whatever you can afford, right? You're making an absolute 600%. That's insane. And because of the time and because of the mostly time, I would say, there's a fun fact about this asset which I'll talk about. But yeah, just going back to $5, $6, that's about what, 3,000, about 3,000%, which is what, 30x. Goes back to this wick. Any point it, for some reason, price gets here, right? Where what I'm saying is the alt euphoria and the DeFi season kind of rolls in. Any point, anywhere you find the price hovering around this open air pocket, sell, hit sell without any fail. So you're looking at, if it goes back to this wick, back from 2020, 11,000, almost 12,000%. Is that a 120x or what? Yeah, so it's just insane. Just let's see how it turns out. Already have a good spot, I would say, for CRV as well. So if it gets any lower, if by any means and by any reason it gets down again, then there would be another buy on my end. So let's see. Doge, like you would have only dreamed of buying Doge in this range or inside of this range. It's here now. Yeah. So let me put this back into the non-log chart. Like, does that make sense? Yeah, this was the consolidation that led to almost 75.7, sorry, it's $0.75, yeah. So that it, right? This consolidation is what led to this expansion. Died off, consolidated, literally in this range. Back to what? $0.5, yeah. Is back in this range. It's insane. Doge is insane. Can make the case it's making a W or whatever. Yeah. What happens when you make a W? If it breaks, comes back, boom. Things go very fast here. Things go very fast. And I'm going very slow today. Yeah, maybe because I've had quite a long break, so just wanted to take it slow today. Near is another good one, and on the log chart it's broken out, testing the breakout. It kind of goes next to the Zcash hype, yeah. So a perfect spot or place to kind of make a buy. That is what. But these candles here, these wicks, there's too much pressure here. There's too much pressure. So Litecoin, insane. I've not. Yeah, the bit I think previously I was looking for Litecoin was perhaps to do something what XRP did, right? With its formation on the monthly or the 3-month it was, I don't know. Yeah, this bit here. It's just gone the other way compared to what XRP did. But this is just insane. Like, it's horrendous for whoever is in LTC the last so many years. I mean, you can say the same for XRP, but XRP has had some breathing space, and yeah, it's just insane. I remember seeing someone on the Twitter mentioning or stating that they have put $1 million or 2 million into Litecoin. Like, this was like six odd months back, and I was like, dude, you're good. This is going to repeat what XRP did, and I hope that dude sold in time and didn't really take a big L on that huge of an investment he or she would have made. So if you're still alive and somehow this gets to you, then I hope you're okay. Well, that's where we are. Let's just look at ETH BTC. Looking back how things have turned out, yeah. And the good thing is I don't take off drawings. I own up to things. So this back just about 3 months back, or my thesis really was strongly to say ETH. I think it was coming from the 3-month. Which kind of is still. It didn't really get to this kissing the, or did it? Maybe it did. Maybe it's now going just a little below to what I thought where it will be, which is where it was this range, yeah. So the whole thesis was, this was the consolidation. This was your 3-month cluster that I was looking at for ETH BTC. 2020, this is where it finds the support, goes back, and this supply zone is where it starts to go south. Fine. Now, I was not expecting this specific cluster to hold, which it didn't. Came here and then finds support again into this consolidation or reaccumulation zone, if you would want to call that. Now, it's had its first upthrust, I would say. Now, this is 3 months, so you can say this is 1 and this is 2. Maybe, I think I was looking more on the, this literally is the case. So I was looking at the monthly, first, second, third. I was expecting the 4 here, and 4 of that range was the mid range is what I was looking for. It's now come back to the very lower end of the range, which is even better, because looking back, if I put the fib, see that? Fucking works every time. This 0.618. 1, 2, 3, comes back to 0.618. Will be very interesting. The coming quarter, should I say, or maybe even just the next 6 months, but more immediately the next quarter, the next 3 months. ETH BTC finding support at 0.618. Very interesting. This was the double bottom, yeah. This was the double bottom structure, which it's mimicking. Downward, comes back, forms the double structure. It hasn't gone like in that manner, like in that vertical manner. It's doing its wavy thing, per what you would say as the Elliott waves. But it's a W structure. Anytime the W structure breaks, retest the neckline, go away. We'll see what the future holds. But this is actually a good positive sign. It's finding support within the 3-month range. It's at 0.618. So that's good. What else positive or negative can I see in this chart? Is the Bollinger. Ooh. This has got quite a lot of open air, which is suggesting to me it might take more time for the bands to kind of close in the gap against the price. So there's some consolidation time still, I would say, looking at the Bollinger for ETH BTC. That's my friend Ichi saying, no momentum there, not surprising. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's still needs time. Oh, how wrong I have been on this one. Inverse head and shoulders is what I was looking for. Yeah, this really did not play out. Good. Always humbles you. Market always humbles you. Right. I think that's about it. Nothing really I can think of to add here. Man, just such a dull market. The fact that I'm still offline viewing it every once in a while, and I really am a bit surprised on. I just admitted, right? I was massively wrong on the ETH USD pair. Not that much wrong on the ETH BTC. Just the drawdown has been longer, but equally, I think I'm a bit impressed with the level of patience I've showcased here, because I just did not pull the trigger at this. I did miss a move. Probably was contemplating, this was our swing failure pattern, right? Price has gone down from this 74K price point, has come back, done the retest. I just mentioned like many would have fallen for it. I just didn't see the strength. I just didn't see the divergence, and I just simply did not pull the trigger. So really glad I followed what I had drawn, what I had thought of. Now, I think we are getting closer and closer to a bottom. It might be a temporary bottom where the market takes the reverse. It might not be an end of the bear market, but there's a upthrust move coming, which might just take us to 90K, 100K, right? Which is effectively your 50-week moving average. So let's bring them back. Trending down. Your 50-week currently stands about 90K, right? So we'll see about it. But at this point, the price is threatening to test this lower end of the range, which is where I hope the divergence gets formed. And there's definitely is a lot of liquidity that would be sitting in underneath this low or this range, basically. So we'll see about it. Thank you for dialing in, and hopefully next time I do one of this, market is in a state of momentum. There's excitement, there's euphoria, and hopefully that is a true reversal of the market, and we make a shit ton of money. money at that point in time. Patience. Cheers.